Here's the graph of divided Israel. In 933 BC, Jeroboam rebelled against Solomon's son Rehoboam. This divided Israel into two separate states, Israel in the north with 10 tribes and Judah with Benjamin in the south. Here you see Daniel's prophecies beginning here in 606 BC, then in 552 BC, then in 533 BC, and that's after Israel had been taken captive in 722 to 725. Matter of fact, the major deportation was in 724. Samaria fell in 725. And Ephraim and the rest of the 10 tribes were dispersed into the nations, sent off of all places to the Caucasus Mountains. That's an interesting thing, too, that we might look at. What are the people in the West called? Caucasians. And where were the tribes of Israel sent? They were sent into the Caucasus Mountains. Now let's look at Hosea 2:16. And it shall be in that day, saith the Lord, that they shall call me Ishi, that's husband, and shall call me no more Bali, master. Husband, that's a New Testament term, implying being married to the Lord Jesus. Look at Hosea 7:8. Ephraim has mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake unturned. What does that mean? Well, if you look at how they baked bread back in Bible times, they had an open oven, and they put something very similar to a pancake, and they'd put it in this oven, and they'd cook it out on one side, and then they'd bring it out, turn the cake over, and cook it on the other side. So what do you suppose? Ephraim has mixed himself among the peoples. Ephraim is a cake unturned. This was written just before the captivity, probably in about 725 BC, or maybe a little earlier. And so you recognize from this that at the time of the captivity, half of Ephraim's history has not been told. The cake hasn't been turned yet. So the rest of Ephraim's history has to take place after the captivity. Look at Hosea 11:10. They, Ephraim, shall walk after the Lord, then the children shall tremble from the west. The west? Israel is on the borders of the Mediterranean. There's nothing west except the Mediterranean Sea, and well, Europe is west, and also, of course, is the United States. About 95 AD, John wrote this, and to the woman, we recognize this to be Israel, were given 2 wings of a great eagle. We recognize that eagle in Revelation is a symbol of the Lord Jesus, that she might fly into the wilderness. From Ezekiel, we recognize this wilderness to be the wilderness of the nations, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. The primary captivity of Israel took place in 724 BC. Samaria was taken captive in 722 BC. From 724 BC, when the major captivity took place, until the United States, 1776, is exactly 2,500 years. Daniel is an Old Testament prophet. He was to the Jews and to the nations that would control the Holy Land during the time of the Gentiles. The Revelation 12:14 is to the church. It was penned by the Apostle John, the prophet to the church. But from context, Revelation 12:14 is to the dispersed tribes of Israel during the Christian era. Revelation 7:1 through 9, 14:1 through 5. The language of Revelation 12:14 might fly into the wilderness, pins us to the major deportation of the northern kingdom rather than to the fall of Samaria in 722 BC. That major deportation took place in 724 BC, 2 years before the city fell. Additional verses for study are as follows, and you can look at them if you like. But now we can prove that times are actually 1,000 years. Daniel 7:11. This is during the 4 beasts. Then I kept looking because of the sound of the boastful words which the horn was speaking. I kept looking until the beast, this is the 4th beast, Rome, was slain and its body was destroyed and given to the burning fire. As concerning the rest of the beasts, the lion, the bear, and the leopard, which we can show to be Babylon, Medo-Persia, and Greece, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season, which is a quarter of a time, and a time. It was a season at a time from the construction of the Dome of the Rock 688 AD to the new nation of Israel in 1948 AD.